Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. I'm going to talk about a subject that's near and dear to my heart. I'm going to talk about spiritual awakening. And, you know, it's funny, I don't really talk about it in my videos that much. And I don't really go in depth. It's because it's a subject that, if you haven't woken up, you can't comprehend. You just can't. So it's something that I help people to do. Like a lot of guys, when they come in and take my course, Crack the Female Code, on either how to save their marriage or meet the woman of their dreams, or whatever. It's a life-changing course. I'll give you one example. Adam came in a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago. Came back a second time. And I said, why'd you come back? He's like, well, when I went home the first time, I was meeting women. It was so easy and comfortable. He goes, it's like I wasn't even trying. I go, well, what happened? He goes, well, it kind of went away. I'm like, well, it's because you didn't work on the grounding techniques. So when I work with people, I help them to become very, very open and very emotionally grounded. Today, Matt said it best. He said, it's like a soft, easy, smooth energy. And it's like, yes, exactly. So the reason why I come out here, because there's a mountain right there, kind of a mountain, rolling hills they call them in California. And when Abenev came out here, he looked at that. Now he's lived here since I think he was about 8 years old, and he just goes, oh my god. It's in one of the videos of my past history from about 2 years ago, but he goes, wow, it's like I see it for the first time in my life. Before it was like a painting, and now it's like it has depth. It has, I can almost see the soil, the richness. So that's what happens when a guy wakes up. That's one step. I wouldn't call that a deep spiritual awakening, but I would call that a consciousness and awareness awakening. So that's why I'm making this video, because there are different kinds of awakenings, and I think that's important. Alright, so I'm a little bit closer to the mountain, not much, about a block closer, about 300-400 yards closer. So Abenev saw that, and he really had an experience, because he's like, man, I've lived here, I don't know how long it was at that point, like 15 or 18 or 20 years. And he's like, it's like I never saw it. Like it was there, but it was like a flat painting. He goes, now there's depth. So that would be awakening to consciousness. So, man, how do I explain awakening? It's when you go through it, you'll know. You won't need to ask anyone. There will be no doubt. There's no, oh, I think there's no thinking. It's all feeling. It's all awareness. It's all being tuned in. So, okay, I'll give you something. So I've got a client, Stephanie. She was referred to me by Matt. Again, Matt Cooper is a personal trainer in Southern California, in Long Beach. So if you're looking for a really, really top-notch personal trainer, that's the guy to go to. So, anyways, Abenev, when he first has real big, he had little ones, medium ones, and then he kind of opened up one day, then another, and he couldn't do it on his own. So I took him out here, which is on the corner there, and when he woke up, he actually looked over there at that mountain right there. And so Stephanie's about, okay, I'll go to Stephanie. So Stephanie is definitely waking up. Here's what Stephanie did. Stephanie had a little bit of throat cancer, and obviously it scared her, so she stopped with alcohol. She started eating. Matt got her on a tremendous diet, lots of greens and lots of just ultra, like, filtered water and all this really healthy stuff, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, all that stuff. And she's like, something changed. I'm like, well, yeah. I go, all that stuff like cigarettes and coffee, I'm trying to think what else, alcohol, it blocks your nerves. So basically, essentially, it shuts the door. And a lot of people unconsciously, they are drinking that stuff because they're afraid of waking up. And they're like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I can barely deal with going to work right now, which, is true for some people. So waking up is not an easy thing. So the reason why I picked Stephanie is because she is going through it, and one of the ways I know is because it's like she's peeking and taking a look, and then she's closing back up. Now here's, okay, alright, here's another way. Okay, I'll be right back in a second. Hold on. Hope we got those ducks. There's a ton of ducks out here. In fact, there's one right there. Hi, Mama. There's a pair out here I saw earlier. I don't know if you can see it. But anyways, there's tons of ducks out here. So Stephanie basically is waking up. And one of the ways you know is, you know, she's like, everyone around me is like, oh, you're crazy, or oh, you're overthinking, or you're, I'm trying to think what else. Overthinking and waking up are two totally different things. Radically different. Although when you wake up, you're like, whoa, what is this? And Stephanie's at that stage. And of course everyone around her is basically telling her like, no, it's all in your head, or you're crazy, or I'm trying to think what else, you know. But basically what they're doing is they're trying to shut you down, and here's why. They're not ready to wake up. In fact, some of them may never wake up. Although we are going through a shift as a planet right now, and a lot of people are waking up. That is just clear as clear can be. Some people are doing what I call, like, they're faking it. They're, oh, I'm awake, I'm woke. There's no such thing as woke. There's no such thing as I'm awake. It's awakening. It's like a flower that's constantly blooming. I'm still expanding. And I've been doing it for 20... When I had my first real big awakening, that was when I was 28 years old. And I was awakening before that. So here's what I want to say on that part of the subject. God. It's not like you just wake up one day and that's it, and you're done, you're cooked, you're fried, and it's over. That is not the way it works. The way it works is you have mini awakenings, kind of small, and you may not even notice them. Like, you might begin to notice things, like you might notice color, like pinks and fuchsias, and you might notice like there was a plant at Lake Berryessa that was on the side of the mountain, and it was like an electric green. It almost glowed. So when I was first waking up, I was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, wow, like I really started noticing colors and stuff, okay? So then, I don't know how much longer it was after that, but then I popped open, and I mean, I popped open for 6 months. And that is another subject in itself. That 6 month period of time was amazing. So it's like when you wake up, you go through this awakening. So I went through the whole Kundalini energy. I mean, it was expansive, it was explosive, and I'm still expanding, I'm still growing, and I don't mean growing like on like, oh, personal development. It's way beyond that. It's all energy. It's an energy, spiritual, expansive experience, okay? Listen to the frogs for a minute. Man, I'm trying to find I'll be right back. Let's see if I can remember what I was going to say, or how it was. It's like information that has been there, but your brain didn't know how to put it together. That's the best way to explain it. And when you open up and expand, you have more neurological connections that are turned on, we'll say, okay? And you begin to what I call amalgamate, or put the pieces together, and you begin to see the bigger picture. And that's why when you try to explain this to people, it's like, it's not that they don't want to understand you, it's they can't. It's kind of like when Dr. McCoy put on that helmet thing with all these things on top, these little like antenna things. Suddenly he knew how to do brain surgery really simple. What's up, man? It became really, really simple. And when he put it on, he goes, oh, it's like child's play, right? And so that's the difference between someone who's awake and someone who's not. But when you're going through your really big awakening, it's an overwhelming experience. And that's why you need to learn how to meditate, become centered and grounded, energetically and physically and emotionally grounded. That is so important. All right? And yeah, that's something that I teach in my course, and you can learn how. I can teach it to you over the phone, or, you know, whatever, in person or whatever. So there was something that I read on a meme on Facebook yesterday, and I forget how it said it, but hopefully, I think I saved it onto my desktop, so I'll be able to upload it onto here. But it said something like, just be grateful that you've been chosen to awaken, or that you've chosen to be awakened. And okay, how do I say it? I'm gonna stumble and bumble through this. I don't know how to say this. in a very good way. But I do kind of wonder, were some of us chosen? And because some people, it's like they can't wake up. I don't even know if it's that they're too afraid or they won't. But I think you're chosen when you're ready. Or, I'm not even going to say that. For some reason you're chosen. I'm not going to explain that. So, what I'd like to wrap it up with is, you can't expect those people who are not awake to understand you. But here's the thing, but you really want them to so badly, because it's exciting, it's amazing, it's wonderful. Like, what is this? This is so cool. And you want to talk to someone about it. Now, there's people out there. Now, when you're awake, you'll know when someone's actually awake in that moment or not. I mean, it becomes really obvious. So don't waste your time with people, oh, I'm woke, yeah, I'm woke. Just like, okay, whatever, buddy, And so you desperately want to connect with someone. But here's the reason why you seem isolated. It's because, how do I explain this? It's because this is your journey. This journey is about you connecting with you. It's like you're opening up your ego, you're letting go of your ego. It's like a door that you're letting open, and you're dropping down inside, and you're also opening your heart. Call it your forehead chakra and your heart chakra, call it whatever you want, but you are connecting with you. That is probably the best way to explain this. So you need to spend a lot of time with you and yourself and your feelings and what you're feeling and noticing what you're feeling. That's really what this is all about. So that's why, if you're saying, I feel so alone, it's because you're not connecting with you. And that's what this whole journey is about. When you connect with you, a whole new world dynamic is going to open up, and it is absolutely amazing. That's the best thing. It's like Stephanie, I messaged her the other day because she was really upset that her family was, basically like, oh, you're crazy. Oh, what are you talking? It's all in your head. I mean, they thrown everything at her. And it said, Stephanie, I know that what you're going through is hard, and it is confusing, and it can be scary, and it's you feel alone. This is your journey. Every spiritual teaching, from Jesus Christ doing his own walk, his own journey, that 14-day thing he did, drew a circle in the sand. I think it was 14 days or 11 days, I forget the details. You have to do this journey on your own. That's the best way I can explain it, and I promise you it will be the most rewarding journey. That doesn't mean you can't reach out to people like me who can walk you through it, who can teach you how to ground yourself and open up and stay open and be conscious and present in the present moment, and learn how to go with it instead of fighting it. And it's a big battle. You will get to the point where you're like, you completely surrender to it. And it's not like a submissive thing. I don't like it when people try to say, oh, you got to submit to God. No, God doesn't want you to submit. To most people, that means you're getting beat down. God is not beating you down. It's you in your own battle. And that's why you have to do most of this journey on your own, because you finally will come to a place where, like, I'm done fighting myself. And that ultimately is what we're talking about. And when you get to that place and you completely, utterly let go, that door will open so wide. You will experience a level of peace I couldn't put into words. I couldn't explain to you if I wanted to. It's the best way to explain it is absolute pure contentment. You are so content and so at ease with everything in life, even with people who are not awake and who are not awakening. That is one of the steps where you have to be okay with, is suddenly you're okay with, like, that person is at where they're at. Think of it this way. Think of a kid who's in first grade learning 1 + 1 = 2 and 10 + 10 = 100 or 20. Sorry, I'm thinking 10 times 10. And you're trying to teach him a concept that's like algebra 2 or geometry or trigonometry. They're going to look at you like, what are you talking about? In other words, everyone is at their own level. They're at where they're supposed to be at in that moment. They have to learn what they're supposed to learn in that moment where they're at in time. And until they learn that, they can't go to second grade or third grade or the next level and so on. So that's the best way to explain, like, it's why people can't understand you, or they think, what are you talking about, and all that stuff. It's not that they're being mean, and you know, they can be mean though. There could be a level of that, but it's only because you're trying to push them, like, talk to me, you know, you got to understand. It's like, no, they don't. That's the thing. When you come to that complete contentment, you realize it's okay for them to be where they're at, just as much as it's okay for you to be where you're at. So one more aspect I want to talk about is, okay, like, when I went through awakening, I went everywhere. I went to Buddhist temples, Sikh temples, Japanese Buddhist temples. I mean, I was checking everything, and I was going to Berkeley and, you know, looking at all, going to Berkeley Psychic Center. I mean, I was just like, what is this? And so I'm walking down University, I think it was University Avenue or College, or University and College, close to that. There was a bookstore, a little tiny bookstore. Lots of restaurants, by the way. Really love that place. I used to go there all the time. And there was a little flag outside the bookstore about, I don't know, maybe a foot and a half by about, I don't know, 2 feet or something. It was like rectangular. And it had a square, a circle, and square, a triangle, and a circle. All right? Now, as I walked by, I instantly knew what it meant. Now, here's the thing. I've never seen that in my life. I'd never had no clue what it was. And I walked in, I go, oh my God. And I go to the guy behind the counter. Do you know what that means? He goes, nobody knows what that means. Only the artist who drew it knows what it means. And he goes, you don't know that? I'm like, well, I've never seen it before. He goes, well, then you don't know what it means. I'm like, no. The square is when you're closed-minded. Like, you're just like you're stuck in your reptilian brain, that intellectual, logical brain, right? Not even the logical brain. And then the triangle is when you open up from that to your logic. And everything is angular and triangular, okay? You're thinking. It's about rules, structure, organization, just like the left brain. Learn that in Psychology 101, all right? And so the next level is the circle. That's when you open up to the spiritual level. That's when you turn on all your brains. It's like the doorway between your lower reptilian brain, your logical brain, and your right emotional, creative, spiritual brain all open up. And that's when you suddenly start viewing the world in a more spiritual way. And that's what it means to wake up. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. If you've enjoyed this, make a comment and let me know if you want to hear more about this subject, okay? And remember, click subscribe, click that bell, make sure you get my notifications, okay? Or when I upload new videos so you can get more information. See you guys soon. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. I promise you, we're going through a shift right now. It will get better. See you guys soon.